Hi everyone, thanks for tuning in. And today I'm joined by a special guest, Dr. Kaylee Trottier, who is the director of the University Counseling Center. So welcome today. It's great to have you.
Thank you.
And I thought we would start with a few questions about who you are and how long you've been at UND. So tell us about your position, how long you've been in it, and how long have you been here at UND?
Awesome. My name is Kaylee Trottier. I recently accepted the position as the director at the University Counseling Center here at UND. Prior to that, I was the associate director. So last January, I was hired as the associate director, working under Tom Solom. I was really excited to move back home to Grand Forks, although January is probably not the best time of year to move. It worked out that way.
Nice. And the UCC plays an enormous role on our campus. Can you give a quick summary of the types of services that are provided out of the UCC?
Yes, I'm really proud of the things that the Counseling Center is doing. Most of them they were doing much before I got here. We do provide therapy for college students. There is no extra fee, so all of the services we provide for college students here at UND, you've already paid for with your student fees. Nice. We are able to provide therapy for most of the students here at UND. We also do Level 1 treatment for substance use. This is extremely rare among college campuses. Most colleges campuses have lost their treatment, their substance use programs. So the fact that we've been able to hold on to it, I think, is amazing. We do have groups that we occasionally run. Right now we've got a successful one for graduate students, and it seems to be running really well. Nice. And I think that's about it at this time. We do a lot of outreaches as well, some education for students. We've been running Green Bandana.
Oh, nice. So tell us about Green Bandana a little bit.
This was student government. So this is the student government program. They said this needed to happen, and they made it happen. They looped us in to provide some of the training in suicide prevention. The military had rolled out some of the military prevention and the evidence-based screeners, and so it was a really great timing for me to be here and say, yeah, I can provide some of that training, and made it happen. Carolyn Brodeen, our outreach coordinator, did a really good job of piecing together that suicide prevention training.
Yeah, and I was there that day that you were offering the initial day of Green Bandana training, and it was a great group of people providing the training, and an extraordinary number of students had participated. So,
and
well
in my
done.
experience, the students that are coming to this training are there because they want to. No one's making them, so it makes it a really easy group to teach as well.
Nice. So that's a little bit about Green Bandana. Let's go back to the services that you provide at the UCC. Who's eligible to receive support from the UCC?
Students. So if you're a student here at UND, you are eligible to receive services at UCC. There is a requirement to pay student fees. So if you're paying student fees, there's no additional charge. There are some options. Maybe you're part-time or you're not a full-time student paying student fees. You can pay a $90 fee to still get access to some of those services, which is to help offset the cost that other students are paying for that.
Nice. And here we are nearing the end of the semester as stress levels start rising, especially going into final exams for our students. Do you have any tips or advice for students who might be wrestling with the anxiety of finals?
I think the story that you tell yourself is really, really important. I love to use fitness and the things that I learn about what I tell myself in fitness, because it's a really good correlation to the way that your mind can play tricks on you. And so when you think about that last 30 seconds of a run, what are you telling yourself to get yourself through? I think the same thing matters here. If you're telling yourself, I can't do it, it's not going to work out, those are going to be additional barriers that you have to get through. So what you tell yourself when you're stressed out is really, really important. I would also say, don't forget about diet and exercise. If you're having trouble focus, go for a walk. It's finally nice outside, so make sure that you get outside, you get active, and then maybe refocus on the things that you need to do.
45 degrees is nice, right? After a long, cold, hard winter.
Perspective, it's all relative.
Perspective, it's all relative, exactly. Now, in your clinical work, you've done a lot of work on trauma, in particular, trauma related to the indigenous and the military communities. Can you share a little bit of that experience and what you've done?
I graduated from UND in 2013. I graduated from the Inside program, Indians into Psychology. So that training and my education lined up to put me into Indigenous communities, working at some nonprofits, for Indian health organizations. Of course, within working with those communities, you learn a lot about trauma, especially childhood traumas. From that point, I met a person. I met my husband in residency, and so he moved me to military locations, and that's when I started working for the military as a contractor. Of course, the trauma work that I had been doing in Indigenous community lined up really well with some of the veterans that I was working with and some of the active duty service members. I enjoyed that experience so much, I ended up joining and have been deployed 3 times in 6 years.
In 6 years,
In
wow.
6 years. I'm medical unit, so COVID, I was fully trained, and then COVID hit, so I got deployed twice in country. The year that I was fully trained, but it has lended itself nicely to be able to serve and to help people who are experiencing some of those trauma symptoms.
Wow. Well, your service is incredible, both to other human beings through your clinical work, but also to wear the cloth of the nation, right, and to serve in uniform. It's extraordinary, so congratulations and thank you.
Thank you. They do most of the work. So.
Yeah. And now back to campus. So where is the UCC on campus, and how does, if a student is looking for support services, how do they reach out, and how do they get information?
Absolutely. They can reach out on our website, so we do have und.edu. You can reach out. You can even schedule your first appointment online. You can also just stop in. We are located right behind the Union in McCannell on the 2nd floor, so once you get into McCannell, you'll find the signs. So stop in, say hi to the front desk and schedule an appointment, or if you want to schedule online, you can do that. You can also call us, 701-777-2127. So those are all really good ways to get a hold of us.
Nice. Well, the UCC certainly plays an important role in terms of the well-being of our campus. And of course, this is a great time to remind all of our students about the availability of services, but just as importantly for each of us to look out for one another and to make sure that we check in and to make sure our friends and our colleagues are doing okay. So Dr. Kaylee Trottier, thank you so much for being here, and thank you so much for the service you provide to our campus.
Thank you for having me, and thank you for making mental health and prevention of mental health issues such a primary concern for students on campus. I think that is what this generation is telling us is important to them, and it seems like leadership is listening.
Absolutely, and as we talk about under our new UND strategic plan called UND Leads, this is one great example of a group of people at the UCC certainly leading for the rest of the campus. So thank you again.
Thank you.